Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker. I'm back. Yay! We're here with Friday Fun Live. And it is just so good to be back. I just wanted to start off by thanking you all for your encouragement, for your prayers and your care for us during these past couple weeks, getting over sickness and preparing for our son's wedding. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. And I'm going to go ahead and show you what was waiting for me in the house where we stayed for the wedding because it was out of state. Isn't this beautiful? It's a beautiful yarn arrangement. And it was just waiting for me on the bed. I don't have the heart to take it apart just yet because it's just so beautiful. Go ahead and put that down. My brand new daughter-in-law, let me scoot over here. So my brand new daughter-in-law is a knitter, and I got to teach her how to crochet last year. And I think she likes crochet a lot. She just loves the way it comes together so much faster. But, knitting is wonderful too. And she does have a shop on Etsy, which is currently closed because she just hasn't had time to fill it. She does have a day job. So, but anyway, it was a delight to celebrate with Hudson and Molly. And thank you for your praying for me too. The cake we made was delivered and constructed, and there is a kind of a shorter video. It's not an absolute short, but it's a 2-minute video on how we put the cake together. And thank you to my sweet husband for being there to help me line things up a little bit and get things where they needed to be. Beautiful ceremony. And this was not on my radar, literally, but at the end, during the reception, snow started. It snowed, and there was probably, I'm guessing, close to 3 inches on the ground by the time the bride and groom left, and which meant we couldn't go outside and blow bubbles for them, but they had this beautiful snow coming down, so it was even better. I didn't die going up the ramp with my dress shoes on, thanks to my son-in-law Brian. He held on to me and made sure I didn't fall until I got some decent shoes for that. Didn't prepare for that. But another interesting thing that connects the wedding and our world here with fiber, I thought was very interesting, is what was her name? There was a lady named Yanda there, and she was the photographer that my son and daughter-in-law hired. And she also is the photographer for Boy Company, Boye, that makes the boy crochet hooks and a lot of other notions and needle crafts. So I thought, wow, this is a small world. So that was really fun talking with her. Apparently, she does not do crafting herself, but she's just very skilled at photography. So if you see photography from the Boy Company, Boye, it was the same photographer. So that is just really amazing. And we've got lots of things to talk about today. A new announcement, and some other things I want to catch you up on. But let me go ahead and greet everybody in the chat as much as I can. Kelly, thanks for being in the chat today. I see a lot of your comments. Thank you for your encouragement there. She says, I just finished crocheting a bunny Easter basket, and now I'm crocheting another one for a boy. That is really sweet of you. Can you believe we're looking at Easter coming up? Well, actually, I guess the next official holiday would be St. Patrick's Day. And I've got this throw I can show you again if you want to look at it, the My Wild Irish throw. If you haven't started on something like that and you're looking for something of Irish in nature to work on, I have lots of smaller things too, so don't worry. On my channel, that is. And then, of course, we have Easter coming, but that's going to be late this year. It's not going to be till the end of, I think it's April 20th. Yeah, it's towards the end of April. Last year, it was like, boom, right in the middle of March. And so this year, I guess with the way they do it with the moon cycle and all of that, it'll be late April. So you got some time, Kelly, on these baskets. And Brad's mom, good morning to you. She says, good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, Becky, and my dear Yarnies from sunny, cold Southwest Chicago suburbs. Please Friends, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button. Thank you so much for doing that. That'll help the bots behind the scenes to know what to do with this. And Brad's mom, or Linda, is saying, I'm working on laundry and should be done by the time we all get together. Oh, speaking of laundry, I still have some to fold. I've got two loads waiting for me to fold, but I'm just taking it slow, getting it back into real life, especially since my house has been a hotel for more than a week for a lot of people. Including two grandbabies. So it's been wonderful. It's been busy. I'm exhausted. No, I'm fine. I'm doing better. Now, it was wonderful time, wonderful reason to become exhausted, but I'm just glad everybody, my husband and I are back, to being sort of healthy again. I have to say that quietly, not boast on it too much, by the grace of God. Not the case when you get a bunch of people together for a wedding, as you well know. Whatever anybody has gets to go around, and yeah, some of that's happening, but thankfully everybody's doing okay. And Kelly says she's watching and listening from Tucson, Arizona, which I can't stand. Oh, what's wrong with Tucson? Come on, Kelly. Arizona is a great state. And thank you for telling me about your brother-in-law. So sorry to hear about that. And Angie, good morning to you. She says, good morning, all, and congratulations on your son's wedding. Thank you so much. And Sandra says, good morning, Bonnie, Hannah, and all my yarny peeps. It's going to be a lovely sunny 69 degrees here in Beaumont, California. Wow. Enjoy that. We still have freezing temps here. We actually had snow flurries a little bit yesterday, but nothing that amounted to much. But it's pretty cold and windy here. Probably won't see warm temperatures like that in a while, but we'll see. Thank you, Kelly, for the congrats on the wedding. And Susie Pops Creation says, good morning. Thank you, Susie Pops. And love to craft, waving right back at you again. Thank you for being here. And Miss Wanda Gordon, thank you for being in our chat, and thank you for your prayers. Yes, God is certainly good. I so appreciate you guys. It's just, like I said, been a very busy week. It feels like it was just a couple days since I was telling you guys that, we can't do Friday Fun, and, I'll see you in a couple weeks. But the last time we got together was February 7th, and now it's the 21st. Gee whiz, time really does fly. And Carol, thank you. She says, have fun, guys. See you another time. Training today. Ah, goodness, Carol. Good for you. And Lynn, thank you for being here. She says, thank you, the Lord, for you today, Sister Bonnie, and everyone in the chat. Also, congratulations to your son and his bride. May their marriage be forever blessed. Thank you so much, Lynn. I appreciate that. Prayers are welcome for that. As you know, this is a tough world, I mean, yeah, we could all use some extra prayer, just for loving each other and so forth. Let me check one thing here. Just send Hannah a little text. And Susanna says, good morning, everyone. We've had some below zero temps this week here in Kansas. So looking forward to spring. Congratulations to Bonnie and your son and his beautiful bride. Thank you, Susanna. Oh, well, I have nothing to fuss about. Our temperatures have been above zero, thankfully. So you take warm. You stay warm, friend. Wow. Okay, no problem, Hannah. Thank you so much. I was just checking in with my daughter to make sure she was here. She was a huge, huge help. Where did I go here? We have, thank you for encouraging Hannah, Lynn. I appreciate that. And Margita, hello to you. And Extra, I'm so glad to have you. Thank you for the congrats. I so appreciate that. And Phil says hello from Washington, D.C. Well, Phil, if you're in the area of Gaithersburg, stop on by. Not sure your truck would. I don't know. We've got a 1-lane road, but we do have a good sized driveway to turn around. Text me, email me, bonniebay@me.com if you're in the area and you've got time. It'd be fun to have you over sometime. But take care. DC traffic is not for the faint of heart, although I think it's a lot easier than Atlanta. So anyway, just my personal opinion. And I have lots of experience with both. Anyway, Phil says he's headed to Dallas, Texas. Well, wow, that is a long, long trip. Well, Phil, if you come up through the north end of things, let me know. Um, and and Kendall says, "Hello, Bonnie and all. This is my first time joining your live." Well, Kendall, welcome to our live. I'm so glad you could join us. Got lots and lots of fun stuff today. I'm gonna have some fun things to show you too in just a second. Um, and Jet One in, welcome, welcome, and Ola Joe, always good to have you have a fellow YouTuber crocheter in our chat. We love that. And those of you who don't know, Ola Joe has a crocheting YouTube channel. Check her out. Just look up the Crocheting Sailor, and you should be able to get to her very quickly. Lots and lots of fun little things she does there. And Diane, hello to you from Florida. Wow. And Kathy from Spokane, Washington. Wow. Um, and thank you, Ola Joe, for welcoming Kendall. Thank you. And yeah. Okay. One thing you're going to find, Kendall, is I can be a little slow reading everybody, but I just love it the way people welcome. This is a really good group. I think you're going to like it here. And Wanda Gordon, so glad you could be here. She's greeting. She says, "Hey, sweet Hannah." I have to tell you a little story about Hannah. She was a hero this week, helping to take care of the little guys, as you can imagine, and even during the reception. So she was just up and helping keep an eye on them, making sure they're okay, letting their parents have a break so that they could, have adult conversation. Those of you who have toddlers, you know what I'm talking about. It's like adult conversation. What is that? So that was just really kind of her. And Hannah looks so beautiful. I have to find a picture and put on YouTube at some point. But I don't have one, um, because one thing that, let me tell you one thing that my daughter and my son did at their weddings. And if you all have weddings coming up, this is something I highly recommend, although it could step on some toes out there. But my daughter, Becky, before she got married, like 6, 7 years ago, one thing she noticed about a lot of videos about weddings is when the bride comes down the aisle, all she sees are people's phones, recording everything. And she didn't see their faces. I'm not sure why I'm getting fireworks, but whatever. So anyway, is that just a celebration? Is that what that does? Makes fireworks? Um, anyway, she had, or my son and his bride to be asked the pastor to make an announcement before the ceremony officially began, and just said, "This is going to be a cell phone free wedding. So please turn your phones off and put them away. We do not want any pictures taken during the ceremony." The professional photographer was the only one who was taking photos. So it was really wonderful. So that when we came down the aisle, and of course, being the mom, I was the mom of the groom. um, and I had the joy of being able to carry one of my grandsons on my hip down the aisle along with my little flowers, because everybody else in our family and beyond were in the wedding. So I got charge of watching one of our little grandsons, which he was a pure delight. And my sister watched the other grandson, and he was also a delight. And they were able to, stay reasonably quiet during the service. Um, but it was just nice to walk down the aisle and see people's faces and be able to smile at them instead of just seeing their phone, kind of like you can imagine, you're going down the aisle and all you see is this. You don't see people's faces. So that's just my recommendation. It worked out beautifully for both ceremonies. So if you're going to have a wedding in your future, just recommend that to the people. Just say no photography during the service only. You can take all the pictures you want during, the reception or whatnot. But that was just a really great idea. And I have to tell you one thing. One of the little boys, my son, Caleb's little boy, was so cute. Every time something happened during the service, like the pastor would say something, or well, not every time he said something, but when there was a pause, you know, something was kind of, moving on to the next thing, you would hear this little yay in the background, and that was my grandson. And it was so cute. It just really lightened the mood. And it was, it was a simple yet delightful time. It was really fun. Anyway, um, okay, thank you, Hannah. Hannah's telling me how I got the fireworks behind me. So if I do this, does that make fireworks? Is that what did it? Anyway, the AI does weird things now on here. So anyway, I wasn't planning on doing it, but that's kind of cool. Um, all right, so let's see what we got. PJ, welcome. Good afternoon to you. And you guys are just so sweet to each other, you and ladies and gentlemen. And Red Hooked, so good to have you here. She says, congratulations, Bonnie and family. Thank you so much. And Kendall, you're welcome. We're just so glad to have another crocheter, crafter, knitter, whatever. People who enjoy what we do together. Um, Oh, sorry, Hannah. Oh, yeah, Hannah did pick up the virus that was going on around. I think you're number 4 of the people in our family, but it seems to be a more of a quick mover, not one of these things that my husband and I had that just kind of knocks you down for a week, or 10 days. So hopefully, Hannah, that you'll be feeling better soon. Thank you for serving us, even though you're not 100%. And we have, is it Nick? 0607 Nick, good afternoon. Says, thought the cake was beautiful. Thank you so much. It's always an experiment whenever I do that. The last time I was able to take all my equipment out for decorating anything was like 6 years ago. So it's been a while. I forget things and I remember them when I'm in the midst of it. Like, oh, yeah, I'm supposed to do that. So, but thankfully, everything worked out. I learned a couple new things that I would probably have done differently. But thank you. I was just relieved, and Molly and Hudson were so chill about whatever happened. You're like, they just wanted to be married. The other stuff was just a bonus and incidental, which is kind of the way I think it should be. Um, and some people online, it was kind of funny. They said, "Oh no, you're not going to go into business doing that." Never in a million years. I don't worry. I don't feel like my skills are to that level, and definitely the joy. While I enjoy doing that, it just feels a lot more like work to me than crochet. Now, crochet is also a work technically, for me at this point in time, but the joy factor is definitely different with working with fiber. I love doing that. Um, Working with things that you have to refrigerate and mix up in the kitchen and it's fun. I really enjoy doing that, but you don't have to worry. I'm not going anywhere. And I don't have the money for a stainless steel kitchen. I technically would not be allowed to go into business unless I had a county certified kitchen, which will probably cost about as much as my house, which I'm not going to be investing in anytime soon. Yeah. Hannah says, big difference between work and passion. Oh, yeah. Well, it was definitely a work of love with the cake. That was so much fun. And I actually learned how to do that with my children when I was homeschooling. We just learned little by little over the years in decorating all kinds of crazy cakes. And just, making mistakes, getting messy, having fun, like Miss Frizzle would say. And eventually the kids got older to where their friends were starting to get married. And they asked us, would you do us a wedding cake? I'm like, wow, haven't thought about that before. It was a pretty tall order, but we did one, and then after that, we realized, we can do this, and so we ventured out just a little bit with some friends and definitely some family members. But anyway, we're done. We're done. We're done with that for a long time. But it was fun to get them out for this special occasion. Um, yeah, thank you for caring for Hannah, Ola Joe. I appreciate that. And Jet One In, thank you so much. And for Wanda, thank you for praying for Hannah. And Archer Nays, hey Terry, it's so great to have you in the chat. Been thinking about you, hoping you guys are doing well. Says congratulations. I'm working on a hill far away for our father Greg. That is so sweet. please send me a photo when you can. If you can, no pressure, but I just love sharing pictures of what you all are working on my channel. Doesn't necessarily have to be my designs, but when it is, it really helps my channel. So thank you so much. My social media post. You guys, I mean, more than half of what I post is your work, not mine, and I love doing that. And Diane says, "Love the wedding pictures. Thank you so much." And just to let you know, these were just the ones snuck with my little cell phone off on the side. I can't wait to get the professional pictures back. I know they're going to be amazing. Um, and Kimberly says, "Yeah, we have a late Easter, April 20th. Good day, everyone." Thank you, Kimberly. And Kathy G, welcome. Um, and Ekstrom, thanks for encouraging Hannah. And Ola Joe says, "Hannah, something to make you laugh. I got enough snow in Virginia to build not just an igloo, but a house." Oh, that's a lot of snow, my friend. I have to. I wonder where you are. I know Virginia in the mountains. They got a lot of snow. A lot of that's hit south of us. But wow, ooh, it's a lot of snow. Um, yeah, I'm gonna skip over some conversation back and forth. And Jan, welcome to the chat. And Bonnie Thornton, so glad that you're here. Uh, just got a lot of things loaded. Well, let me take a break for a second and tell you some things I have on my docket. Let you know. Okay, first the bad news. Okay, many of you may know Joann's stores are closing. Some of them are. They are leaving some open, and I did stumble upon a list. I'm sorry, it does have some spammy stuff on it. So if you're not interested in looking at the site, that's fine. But those of you who are interested in which stores are staying open after the bankruptcy thing, don't have a lot of details about it. There are plenty of people on YouTube who are giving their take on it. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I do have a link in the video description below that will tell you which stores are being left open. I know that the two stores near me, the one in Frederick and the one in Gaithersburg, they're gone. They're going to be going. So I tell you this too, if you're looking for good deals, keep an eye on their sales. You might want to go sooner than later because I know once the good stuff goes, it's gone forever from these locations. The one in Myrtle Beach, Hannah, is staying open. So that's something for when I go to South Carolina. Um, the one when I visit kids in Lynchburg, it's gone. So I don't know if what's staying in Pennsylvania. I need to talk. I need to see where, what's being left there. And the ones in there's one staying open on the inner loop in Atlanta. The ones outside of Atlanta, goodbye. So yeah, just kind of sad. Just sounded like some really bad uh, management or not management, was financial decisions. And 2020, I think they invested heavily in expanding because the numbers were all high. Everybody was home crafting. There was really nothing else to do. I mean, that's my station. My YouTube channel kind of went off the charts for a while, but then it kind of has settled back down to normal life. Praise the Lord. So there are other things to do in life, which is really good. But anyway, it's just one of those things, you have a spike. You just can't count on that being the normal. Things will come down. And anyway, it's just sad. But just to let you know, there's a link in my video description that I found that lists all the stores that are going to stay open, and it's listed by state. So you can scroll down this really quickly, find your state, and see if the one near you is still remaining open. Okay, other good news. I announced this 2 weeks ago, but I'll mention it again because I know not everybody doesn't watch all these Friday fun things. I'm going, by the grace of God, yay, gonna be planning on teaching at Prince Edward Island Fiber Festival. That's up in Canada, north of Maine, at Little Island and of Green Gables. Does that ring a bell with anybody? That's where those stores take place. I'm so excited to get up there. And it's going to be October 23rd through 25th. That's 2025. If you are interested in going, you probably need to book your hotel sooner rather than later. The hotel is Delta Hotels Prince Edward. It's on 18 Queen Street in Charlottetown. Okay, again, that's Prince Edward Island. So I'm going to be teaching 5 classes there, and I'll announce what those classes are as the time gets closer. And I have some inside information. This is not information that's been released publicly, but I think it's okay to let you guys know. I'm going to go to Pittsburgh again. Yay. And I'm going to tell you in a few minutes about some of the I'm not going to tell you all the classes because I don't know all the classes that I'm going to teach, but I have a little teaser for you coming up a little bit later in the broadcast about something I'm going to be doing there. So that'll be fun. That's going to be August 22nd through 24th. The announcement of the broader selection will be made known later, but just to let you all know, if you want to try to get to Pittsburgh, it's going to be it's the Hilton Hotel in Green Tree. I think there's only one there. It's an older hotel, but the rates tend to be lower, and the whole festival in general in Pittsburgh seems to be it's just priced better than a lot of other. I don't want to. By comparison, I think because the cost of living is just lower in this area, so the pricing is just much more reasonable. So if it's something that you've not been able to afford, check this one out, see if this one would be within your budget. All right, well, let me get back and do a little more greeting, and then I have some other things I want to show you. I don't want to miss anybody here in the chat. Okay, I read that. And Hannah's saying to Ola Joe, oh dear, hope you have enough food and don't lose power. Yeah, ooh, that would be bad. And Archernay says, I'm blessed. I'm being asked to go back to my old position. Thank you, Jesus. Praise the Lord. I was praying for you, just for your job situation. I know it's been kind of touch and go. That is excellent news, Terry. Yay. I still have this little thing that Beth made me on my in my foyer as I go out the door. I always see the little cross stitch that she made, and it just reminds me of you guys. We have Wildflower 2000. Good morning from Snowy, Utah. Wow. Well, welcome to our chat. You can keep the snow over there if you can. Actually, that's all right. We love snow either way. Just it's been really cold. And Bonnie Thornton says, I took your suggestion and got the soft ergonomic Susan Bates hooks. At 67, you can learn new things. Good to see you on here. And the thumbs up. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like them. And just know that whenever I suggest things, they're just suggestions. It's not like you've got to do this or these are the best or whatever. Like even mentioning earlier in the broadcast, the photographer works for the Boy Company. And I know it's about probably like 50-50, half and half. People like the Boy tapered hooks, and some like me, like the Susan Bates inline. I'm not hard and fast. I'm an adult. I have an open mind. And I allow for differences in all things, truly. I think it's time we grow up in our country, don't you think? Or around the world, just let people have a different opinion. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on that. But I want you to feel free to be who you are here, guys and ladies. And Blacklock says, hi, Bonnie. I just hopped on here and great to see you on. Thank you. I'm making 2 pillow covers. Wow, that's great. And Ola Joe, I guess, talking about the snow, says, Hannah, we got all we need before the winter storm and gas too. We are staying off the road. I hope we don't lose power either. Thank you. Oh yeah, if we lose power here, it's bring out the Afghans and blankets because we don't have a fireplace. We don't have that as a backup. But anyway, and Jet One In is joining us from Boise, Idaho. That's wonderful. Says, I'm late, but I made it. Hello and congrats. This is from Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. And thank you for Hannah for just welcoming people so well. And thank you, Jan, for caring for Hannah with the banana. And Mary Wagner says, hello from Waldo, Wisconsin. Well, welcome, Mary. So glad you could join us. I think it's been a while, but no pressure. I'm so glad that you have time to join us. And oh, thank you, Ola Joe. You are so sweet. And Jan says it's 24 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny today. And I'm going to mispronounce this in Illinois. I'll just say in Illinois. Wow. And Diane says hello from Missouri. And Jan said hi to Brett's mom. Pups are good. Getting over a cold. Wow. Okay. And we have Freaky Geek in the chat. Welcome, Freaky Geek. So glad to see you're here. And Brad's mom said, I bought a little heated bed for Daisy May. She's getting a bit of use out of it. Wow. Okay. Cat talk in the chat. And Stephanie says, hello all. I hope everyone is well and warm. Yes. Actually, I was wearing a crochet thing today, but I just got so warm preparing that I just had to take it off. So I'm not wearing my crochet bling bling. Well, let me go ahead and show you something. I do have to let you know the Navigator's Lapgan has completed all of the parts. I'm going to show you. So you can see there are 4 panels put together. It's joined. I don't know if you can see this. It's joined with the knurl stitch, and then we have an outer trim. There's a total of 6 videos for this, 3 on my channel, the Bonnie Bay Crochet YouTube channel, and 3 on Crochet with Tiffany Hansen's channel. Now, apparently over the weekend, Tiffany's website or some part of what she does got hacked. Yeah. It's really crazy, bad actors everywhere. I'm like, this is something that was, done for free, at least on my end, 100%. And Tiffany does have the free pattern available. And I want you to know that I put the updated link. So she told me, here's the updated link. Everything is fine now. So I do have that updated link in my video description, as well as on every video. I went in this morning and replaced her link with the new updated link. It's to her website, where you can download the free pattern on her blog, and you can also watch the 3 videos either on her blog post, or you can go to the YouTube channel and watch them. So this is a smaller lapgan, and this is the one that we dedicated to our servicemen and women, to veterans. And it works up really fast, just to let you know. And if you don't want to use the yarn that we did, not a problem. Use whatever yarn you'd like. And if you want to use up yarn from your stash and use different colors and change it up, go for it. So I just wanted to let you all know that announcement, just that Tiffany had some bad actors messing this up for us, but it has been taken care of. It always adds a lot of work to our lives when this happens, and we are safe. We try to do what we can, but there are people out there that just have way more time on their hands. Okay, and Leanne Kennedy wants to know, is there a website that sells yarn that is, I guess, in discontinued colors? I have a few skeins of different colors that I need more of. I don't know of one specifically for that purpose alone. Okay, yeah, Leanne. But I will say, if you go to Etsy, not Etsy, well, you might want to check Etsy. You may want to check eBay, but in general, I would say do a Google search or whatever internet browser you feel comfortable using, and then just put the name of the yarn, the color, the dye lot number, and see what happens, and see what comes up. If you put the lot number in of the color, which is the official color, that the yarn companies assign it, you might get something through the Google search. But do be careful, because again, bad actors, you just want to be careful. But if you find a site that you can trust, you might be able to find something that way. That's where at least I would start. If anybody else has other suggestions, please let her know on that one. All right. So The other thing I wanted you to know is coming March 3rd is my Sunshine Saxon scarf. This is made with yarn by created by me. Anyway, I don't remember exactly. Yeah. But but the information will be forthcoming as we get closer to this. So this is just um, a simple, well, it's not really simple. It's got cables on it, but a basic, nice scarf that you can wear. And I like using, this is made of fingering weight yarn, and it can fit really nicely inside your jacket, keeping your chest warm, whatever, and looking nice in the process. Now, if you don't want to run out and invest in fancy yarn like this, which is the fingering weight, and I use the size G crochet hook, what you can do is go to your stash, right? Go to your stash. And that's what I did for another design. This is called Rahab's scarf. This was made of fingering weight yarn. This was made of, nice indie dye yarn. And I remade it using a worsted weight yarn. Of course, it's much wider. This is what I was wearing this morning. It's much wider and thicker, but it makes a really nice stole. So what I'm trying to say is, if you don't like the exact yarn that I used, change it. Just make sure that you upsize your crochet hook to match the yarn that you use. Because this one is actually, is this about, yeah, this one's going to be even wider. Like if you worked this one up, because it's a little bit wider than this one. So that tells me if you make this into a stole with worsted weight yarn like I did the other one, this is going to be even wider than this, which might be advantageous. So if you've got a lot of extra, of a particular color that you bought at a sale and you're like, I didn't have any idea what I was doing, I just liked the color, here you go. Pull it out and we can work on the project. Here's another I wanted to show you. I said I would show this to you earlier. These are the cables, which kind of are worked all the way across in my Wild Irish Throw. Are you singing the song like I am? So this features a new triple twist cable, the wavy cable, and I have some bobbles there, and it's pretty much that way across, and it's trimmed with the ribbing, of course. It's my good old standby. I just I just love the rib trim. You're going to see that a lot in my work. And it's not because I can't think of anything else. It's just it just works, and I think it just gives it a really classic look, and I don't think ribbing is going to be going out of date anytime soon. So it's been around forever, and I think it just was very classic looking. Okay, so Hannah wants me to repeat the yellow scarf pattern. Okay, and just to be clear, this is not on my channel yet. This is coming March 3rd. I will try to upload it a little bit earlier to the Watch channel so that you all will have it. If you're a Watch channel member, and if you want to think about the Watch channel, you can look in the video description below. The website is watch, like WATCH, bonniebaycrochet.com. It's a paid subscriber channel. There are no commercials, no tracking of what you're doing on there. I don't sell your information, and there are no commercials. So if you like watching something commercial free and you want to support a creator like me, and there are some perks, like when this pattern releases, it will be for sale in my Lovecraft store as well as in my Etsy store. But if you're a Watch subscriber, you get it complimentary. You just download it. There are many, 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 many patterns on there. Not everything, but mostly everything on there that you can download for just complimentary as part of being a member. And again, it's $7.95 a month or $79.50, I believe it is, or thereabouts, per year. which is a bit of a savings. If you do the math, you're saving the cost of 2 months. And we do try to have classes once a month at least, or about, on Zoom. These are interactive classes where you come in and we talk to each other and you get to see your work and everything. We are going to be doing a repeated class that we did about a year or so ago. It's beginning knitting for crocheters. I'll be sending out the link soon. It will be this coming Tuesday, February 25th from 2 to 4 p.m. And we're just going to be learning the very basics of knitting. You don't have to have any prior experience with this. I'm recommending that you have a large set of circular knitting needles. I'm recommending size 13. That's a good size. If you don't have 13, if you have size 15, that will work as well. And a ball of extra chunky or super chunky. I have an example. Let me get an example over here. I couldn't find the needles, of course, before I went live, but I did find some yarn. Okay, just to give you an idea, this is the thickness that I'm talking about. So if you can see that relationship to my hands, we want something that can work up quickly, fast. Now this is acrylic. This will work if you have some like this, but if you have some that's, they're calling this super chunky. If you have some super chunky, I believe this is also like a number 6. If you have some of it in wool, it'll be even easier to use, because with knitting, you're putting needles, kind of both of the needles together. And so if you have yarn that stretches a little bit and then snaps back, that's what wool tends to do best. The wool is a lot easier to learn on. So I finally understand the knitter mindset. Like, why do you always have to have wool? Why can't you just use acrylic? And they used to always say, oh, I hate acrylic. I understand that now, because having knit enough, when you work with yarn that doesn't give, and cotton is probably the worst when it comes to knitting. When you're working with yarn that doesn't give, it's really hard to jam those needles in and manipulate it. But when it stretches like wool does, it's so much easier. So you're going to need one of these, or the wool in this size 13 or size 15, either one, circular knitting needles. And you probably want the total length to be about 24 inches, but that is something we can play with. You can be smaller or longer with the connecting wire for the circular. If you have any questions, I'll be sending out a list to my watch subscribers. But if you wanted to join this live class with us, there's still time to sign up for the watch channel. And it's one of those things too, that if you sign up for it at $7.95 a month and you find this is just not for me, you can get out of it like that. So you just have to go in and, say goodbye. I'm not encouraging that, but it's easy to get in. It's easy to get out. It's not like one of those things that we used to have, mail order, where it took about 3 years to get off their list. This is not one of those things. And if you ever have issues, my watch subscribers, if you ever have any questions or issues, don't go to Vimeo. Come to me, bonniebay@me.com. I will respond to you as soon as I possibly can. As long as it's not a Saturday or Sunday. Okay. And Hannah sent me a question. Does the gold scarf take 1 skein of fingering yarn or 2? Where did it go? Oh, I put it over here. Okay. Well, this actually takes 3. This takes 3. So the yardage is, I don't remember how many. I know it had at least 400 yards. So it's at least 12, probably 12 to 1400 yards of the fingering weight. It may take a bit more of the worsted weight, but again, it just depends on how long you want to make something like this. Okay. What time do we have? Okay, we're still doing well on time. And okay, I've got something to show you. One thing that I did while Hannah was home, it was so great to have Hannah home. It was the first time that we were together in Maryland at the same time, I think since like 2019 or maybe 2020. But anyway, it was wonderful. And we went antiquing up in Emmitsburg, Maryland. There's a big store up there, a big antique store, which has, they sublet a lot of little spaces to a lot of different dealers. And it can be overwhelming. There's so many things, but it's very nice and neatly arranged. It's like going to a crafts show or a fiber festival, but it's just under roof and it's there all the time. And I'm working on um, a project that's turned into a class. And my first live class of this is going to be in Pittsburgh. And it involves transforming denim, particularly jackets, but it can apply to any denim, using crochet. So, and I am not a big thread crocheter. And at the same time, I will state that I don't like, I'll be gentle how I say this. I don't want to support buying something that's just recently been made, let's say by a, a woman, usually a woman, living in poverty in Asia. You've seen these things that are hand crocheted. They don't have machines that will crochet. They don't have machines that will do what we do. They have machines that will knit, but they don't have machines that will crochet. They do try imitating us, and it looks kind of knitted, and they try to make it look like crochet, but they haven't been able to do it. So, okay, what is it? Oh, thank you, Lynn. So I was on a mission when I went to the antique store with my husband and with Hannah. And my mission, well, let me just say that I don't like to buy crochet that's already made up, that's exploiting people who are working and doing that for a living, like right now. You can find stuff like that in Target and different, even high-end places. And I'll look at that and I'll just say, I can't even buy the yarn for that. How did they afford to pay? They didn't. The bottom line is a lot of times they don't pay these people a living wage. So it's just, and that's a whole nother topic. Now, antiquing is another matter, in my opinion. Okay. If I'm wrong about this, please feel free to try to make me see your point. But I see antiquing and looking for doilies that people don't want anymore. I see this as a rescue mission, if you catch my drift here. So anyway, and the prices were very good. They were not like pennies. I mean, I paid some good money for some of these, and I was happy to do that. But these are in wonderful condition. I just wanted to show you some of the things that I got. And yes, I'm going to repurpose these things. They're not going to end up on my furniture collecting dust. These are going to be enjoyed on the jacket somewhere. Isn't that beautiful? Only one or two of these things cost more than $10, but most of these were between $3 to $6. And these are all hand crocheted. And this one's even been blocked and pressed. Isn't that gorgeous? So what I'm encouraging people to do, if you are going to plan on attending this, and this is just a small part of what I'm going to be covering in the class. And of course, if you wanted to make, isn't that look like a butterfly? Isn't that beautiful? And they had so many. I mean, I spent close to $100 on the ones that I got. And I was happy to do that. I feel like I rescued a lot of things. This one, I don't know if you can see it. If I'm holding it right. No, I'm holding it upside down, so you're not going to see it. Now, you might see it. There's actually a spinning wheel on here. Can you see it? It's right here. So isn't that gorgeous? So, and here's a pair of these. A set of these. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, this would take me forever to do this kind of work. And this is just gorgeous. And again, like I said, this is not something that was just made yesterday and being sold. These are antiques that people just are reselling or people just don't want anymore. And I am happy to rescue them from them. And here's a sample. of something that I hand crocheted and attached. And I'm really, really happy the way this came out. So here is the back of the jacket. You may recognize this. This is the actually the Abigail baby blanket stitches. And I just worked it in cotton. And I also have pineapples along the bottom of the jacket. This was one of those short jackets, which, I was like, I need to add length to this for me. And so I did. And I also added some other things to the front, a little bit of adding beads. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this class. It's going to be limited to only 15 people because there's going to be a lot going on. This is just a portion of what we're going to be doing. So this class that I'm going to be teaching is actually, you don't even have to be a crocheter to join it. You can, but you do have to bring crochet. You have to bring something, sourced from an antique store or something that you made. Maybe you have a beautiful square that's crocheted in, regular yarn you want to put on the jacket and maybe you don't know how to do that. We're going to cover all of that in the class. How to attach, what looks good, what looks tacky. We might break some rules there, but so we're gonna be doing a lot of fun stuff with this. So registration has not opened yet. It's going to be a long time before registration opens, but as soon as it does, I'll let you know. Like I said, it's going to be limited. But this is going to be a fun 3-hour class. We're going to be covering a lot. We're going to be getting messy. We're going to be using, I have a special attacher where you can attach beads. We're going to be gluing sparkles, whatever. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to that class. I have been thinking on this and working with ideas for more than 2 years on the 2 of the new classes. I'm not going to talk about the other class yet, but 2 classes that are going to be opened, going to be done for the first time in Pittsburgh this year. I'm super excited. Like I said, it's taken me a couple of years to really get these so that I can implement them in a satisfactory way. Because I don't want to just do something kind of okay. I want it to be excellent. And it's just taken me a while to wrap my brain around how in the world are you going to do that. And the other thing is I have found at Goodwill stores, thrift stores, wherever, a lot of secondhand jackets that are fabulous that you can get for like, I don't know, just $5 to $10 or less. So you don't have to use your $200 jeans jacket, and you feel like you're going to ruin it. So I encourage people, if you come to my class, bring a jacket that you like, but bring a jacket that if things just go really bad and you're not happy, don't bring your name brand Italian designer jacket. Okay. Bring one that you're okay if you get a little messy with it, because we're learning. And my goal is with these classes too, is that that's not the only one that you make, that you take what you learn in the class, because it's going to be a lot of stuff that you're not going to be able to apply just to one item. It's something you might want to apply bits and pieces to other things in your wardrobe. So anyway, I'm really, really excited about that, and just wanted to let you all know. So let me get back to the group chat before we totally run out of time. And Stephanie, so glad that you're here. And Rosemary, she says, good morning from Arizona at 77 degrees. Whoa. Let's see here. I am way behind. So just, how this goes with me. And Jan and Brat's mom are having a fun conversation about their winter. And Stephanie wants to know, is the fingering weight size 3? Actually, I have some fingering weight yarn here. It's actually size 1. I don't know if this will help you. This is size 1. It's called fingering. Sometimes, people have to use more than one word to describe it. Sock weight is another description. So any sock weight yarn, if you're looking for the scarf to come out like this. But again, if you want to use number 3 weight, it's going to be thicker, but that's fine. It'll be more of a stole or a thicker scarf, more like super scarf. So, you can use, the bigger weight yarn is fine. So, um, and from Nana's kids, Hannah sent me the question, what do you think is the key to doing cables? I'm trying and I know I can succeed with trying. Um, that's a good question because they came I think they come easy for some people, other people struggle. It's just understanding how to cross the cables. I think the key is just where do you put the hook? That's the main key. If you are practicing some cables and you want to send it to me, just a picture, take a good clear picture and just send it to me and say, is this correct? I'll be glad to email you back and say, that looks good. Or maybe try again. Um, and the other thing that's key with learning anything, and it's just like with the wedding cake that I did this past weekend, that was not my starting point. My starting point was just learning how to do simple shells on it. Well, my first starting point was learning how to get the cake flat. How do you do that? How do you make a flat cake and not have that big hump in the middle? It's just learning step by step the different things. So the first thing is to learn the basic stitches of crochet. Once you learn that, I would just look at some videos and make mistakes, get messy. Making mistakes is actually a good part of the learning curve. It's not a bad thing. And I think when you look through some of the comments on my YouTube channel, people at times either love me or they hate me. There's like a very little leeway in between. And I think some people realize that this is going to take practice. The first time I played a flute, um, I couldn't play what I play now. It took many years of practicing and just getting muscle memory there. Just anything in life, if you want to be good at it, it just takes practice. It takes willing to make mistakes. And if you're willing to make mistakes, and a good thing about crochet when you make mistakes, ripping out, like this song, ripping out is hard to do, but really it's a lot easier than knitting. When you have to rip out with knitting, you have a lot more on the line, a lot more loops to worry about. But with crochet, it's easy. There's one loop and it's relatively easy just to rip back and try again. There are many different videos. I think sometimes looking at different versions of the same stitch will also help you. Um, Visiting your local yarn store where there may be a skilled person handy to show you how to do something, learning from a friend, learning from a relative, all these things I think would be helpful. But yeah, I think the main thing, Nana's kids, is just not being afraid of making a mistake as you learn. That's what I've done many, 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 many mistakes, but I learn from them. Hannah says, the more people who oppose you, the bigger you're getting. You just need to overcome their negativity. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. And I do notice that when during the winter time, there are more new people coming to our channel, which is fantastic. But you also do get some of the people that are quick to judge, whatever. Um, some days it's easy to deal with, other days not so much. But anyway. And that's another reason why I don't read the comments on the weekends because I don't want it to bring me down. But it is part of, yeah, it is just part of being out there and having the courage really to put yourself out there, your work, whenever you do something, you know how that is. Like if you're going to sing a song in church or go to one, put your art in an art show or a contest or whatever. I mean, putting yourself out there, you're risking being judged in a way that you don't want to be. But you also, like in my case too, with people like you, I feel like I I have received encouragement far more than I deserve. I really believe that you guys have been just so encouraging just to each other, to me. And I just feel really blessed by that. So it really does counter, some of the negativity. And some of the negativity sometimes is just that people are miserable in their life, and if their whole happiness depends on how this project comes out, then they got some problems. So I just assume, that's just the way it is. Phil says, if you find yourself at a frog pond, you can't leap ahead if you don't frog it, ribbit. Yep, 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 yeah. Ripping out can be hard to do, but it's just part of learning. All right, we are at 1 o'clock already. How in the world did that happen? Um, oh, thank you, Jesse, on the cake. Thank you. Uh, and Kelly says, I just got a new phone and it seems to be freezing up on me. And Freaky Geek says, Kelly, heart, maybe it's allergic to winter. um, yep, 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 yep. Uh, let's see, is there anybody that I missed? Um, Jan says she has another pup. Oh, wow. Let's see. Mel's Kitchen. It's so good to have you back. Says, can't believe someone would say that. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Um, okay, and he also says down further, I'm making the new scarf you made even. I even bought the pattern. Well, thank you for your support, Mel's Kitchen. I still have you on my prayer list for your family, just to let you know. I haven't forgotten about you. I know it's been a while. But just praying for your family and the loss that you had a few years back. I just remember your name because I see it every so often. Um, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're responding to on the other. I must have missed something in the chat, but anyway. Um, and we have Barbara, so glad to see you. She says, "Love that jacket." Thank you. I'm glad you like that. It's so much fun. And I've been just experimenting with products that will work the best. So I'll probably be wearing this out a little bit and just, seeing how it wears, with the glues and the attachment things that I'm going to be using. Some of it's going to be sewing, some of it's not. Believe me, you can get through this. I'm not gonna do any sewing in that class. It's gonna be more like arts and crafts than anything else. And there's certainly not gonna be time to crochet up a gorgeous backing. You're gonna have to bring that with you. Um, but it's going to be a fun class. Jan says, "Cables do not like me." Sorry, Jan, but you know what? There's tons of other things in crochet you can do besides cables, I promise. Um It's just something that I just can't seem to get enough of. And Barbara says, "Yes, I am all for rescue of doilies. I sew them into round hoops and make beautiful art." Yes, she does. She does amazing stuff there in Alaska. Um, Yay, Stephanie, she says, okay, I have enough for the golden scarf. Sorry, I didn't catch the name of that one. Yeah, I didn't say it very much. Sunshine Saxon scarf. Alliteration going there. Um, and back talking about we're going to hang for a little while, guys. I'm not going to get off anytime soon. I just want to read some of your comments here. This is talking again about the crochet that's out there on the market now at the expense of at the expense of a lot of people who don't have a living wage. Says, indeed, I'm trying to boycott fast fashion that exploits people. That's one of the reasons why I am crocheting and sewing my own clothes. Antiquing is great fun too. Absolutely. Um, and Leanne says, I have a brain injury. Because of that, I have difficulty remembering. I wanted to know that I wanted you to know that being able to reference your videos has helped me immensely to recall techniques and ideas. Thank you. Oh, that's wonderful, Leanne. So sorry to hear about that injury, but yeah, it's such a good thing about technology in the world that we live now. We can learn so much at our fingertips, almost too much now. But it's just wonderful if you want to look something up, or I do this all the time with knitting, because I had to um, working on a knit project that I still haven't done much on in 3 weeks. But had to remember, how do I do the Latvian braid? I didn't remember. I did it on one part of the sweater, but it'd been like 2 years since I worked on it. Yeah, it's a slow project. And so I had to look that up again. So, oh, okay, I got it. But it's just great to be able to look up a YouTube video and just remember. And Kendall says, "Oh, fun! Your jacket is giving me lots of ideas. This class sounds wonderful." I think it's going to be fun. I think it really will. Because what's fun about classes like this is you guys are going to show up and you're going to do something that I would never have thought of in a million years. So I get to learn from you as well. So that's the secret is we get to learn from each other, and everybody's mind has their little unique way of looking at things. And Kelly says she crochets a lot of doilies, and Jan likes making them. My mom encourages me to sell them. Yeah, yeah. Um, and Stephanie says, "I'd like to make a table cover like those doilies." Oh yeah, they really had so many pretty ones. I just took the best of the best that I saw there, and I have like 5 or 6 that I'm not going to show you because one is an antique doily, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to alter it some, and I'm going to make it mine, but it has inspired me for at least 2 new designs that I hope to make. And they're going to be easy designs and no cables. They're going to be simpler, easier designs, but I just was just struck by how beautiful these are. And so I thought that's going to be a baby blanket, and I see a poncho, um, and I see an Afghan just with one doily motif that I saw there. I have not seen this in books. I have not seen it in anybody else's work online, but I will be clear in the video that this is inspired by an antique doily. So I will be absolutely clear and forthcoming with my sourcing, but just don't want anybody to say, "Oh, you stole that." And it's like, no, I am inspired by it, and I'm going to make it mine. But anyway, which is, I think, fine. Um, and Joni says, "I love picking up doilies at antique malls. I've rescued them and have them throughout my home." Yeah. When I was in many years ago, well, not that long ago, 2018, when I tagged along with my husband on his business trip to Australia, we were out in the Blue Mountains and we were doing some antiquing. And my husband likes to look for insulators, in case you know what those are, glass insulators they used to use on telegraph lines. He was started collecting those as a boy, and when he was out on the farm in the Carolinas, and so he collects those. So he brought some insulators from Australia, and I found some antique uh, doilies as well. I also picked up some uh, another place. Where was it? Anyway, whenever we go to different, especially if we go to a different country, I definitely look for things that like that to add to collect the collection. I actually have those right up here, using them as doilies actually in my little office here. Um, and the Coffee Cat Crochet says, "Woohoo, hubby said go ahead." Oh, I don't know what that's for. I'm going backwards in the chat. Is that signing up for the conference or going shopping at Joann's? uh, uh, Thank you, Karen, for your encouragement. And Felicia, she likes the doilies. And Kelly does too. And Jan. Yeah, thank you guys for your encouragement on that. Uh, and Melanie Lewis. Oh, thank you for your kind comment. You're so sweet. Oh yeah, we got grown children. I feel it in my bones. uh, Thank you for putting that link in there, Hannah. All right. All right, so let's see. I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody in the chat. And Nessa says, "I keep forgetting where I am once I am working the cables, like which row and which steps I have to do. I have a hard time remembering what I just did, the row, and then which part I have to do next." Yeah, they definitely, getting back to cables, they're definitely challenging, But you can look at it as brain food in some ways. I know that may
Mhm.
sound weird, but this is where, whether you're knitting or whether you're crocheting and you're working on things like this, I mean, it has been scientifically demonstrated that these kinds of things really do keep the mind active and fresh. So, while it's not as easy as it could be on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's keeping the brain working and fresh. So, that would just something to think about. And from Coffee Cat Crochet, it says, my boss made her entire wedding dress out of doilies made by her grandmother and great grandmother she found in a trunk. Oh, it was to join to join. Okay, let me try. Oh, okay, okay. The go ahead from the hubby was to join the watch channel. Oh, great. Well, I hope you enjoy that. But again, Coffee Cat Crochet, if it doesn't work for you, or you find that, well, I really don't need this, it's fine. It's not a problem, no judgment. This is just there, just as an added benefit. If you enjoy a lot of these designs and patterns, um, a lot of them are there for the taking. The PDFs are just there for you. You don't have to add any, no other cost really. You can just, download the ones that you want and print them out, and you've got them. Even if you left, you've got the pattern. So I mean, so there, yeah. Um, and Tracy says, lurking here to Jan. I used to feel the same way, but I just keep trying and watching, and have see, they gave, maybe, I guess became doable. I'm working on one now, and every row takes me 45 minutes. Okay, I hope I read that correctly. Yeah. And from Nana's Kids says, I crochet blankets for our church's prayer blanket ministry and have been going through your blanket patterns for my next prayer blankets. Well, excellent. And again, you guys know where to get me, bonniebay@me.com. If you have questions, and if it's questions with stitching and whatnot, attach some good photos so that I can understand what the problem is, if I, just to try to be of help. Um, oh, yes. And Coffee Cat Crochet says a great way to continue learning is to teach it to someone. Yes, yes, yes. Um, Okay, and DL Chris says the champagne paint box yarns is out of stock for the Navigator throw. I'm sorry. It will come back. They do bring that back a lot. You just have to wait for that, unless you wanted to do a different shade of white. I know they do have regular white, would probably work well. Um, but yeah, I think it's worth the wait if you can, wait for that to come back in. Okay, I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Uh, All right. I think I do need to probably wind down here, but I did wanted to read something from one of my little devotional books. This is the book. I have a link for this in the video description. Um, it's kind of, um, on the light side. It's not as, heavy duty, but just wonderful, wonderful little reminders. And this is just a very short thing I want to read, just some Christian encouragement. This is actually by one of my favorite authors, C.S. Lewis. And he says, he who has God and many other things has no more than he who has God alone. Let me read that again. I love this. He who has God and many other things has no more than he who has God alone. That was just so encouraging to me when I read that. And I'll just read one more by Mary Morrison Suggs. This is a quote. It says, I grew up learning to be self-reliant, but now, to grow up in Christ, I must unlearn self-reliance and learn self-distrust in light of his all-sufficiency. So, wonderful, wonderful thoughts, for the heart. Just want to encourage you all. You are part of what's right with the internet out there. I love you very much. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope to be here next week. God bless. Bye bye.